Finally, Goodfellas is in the books as another movie that I should have watched a long time ago. I think earlier in my my life, I used to watch pretty violent stuff. Um, I don't know if one of the if that played into me not really interested in seeing these movies or whatever, because till this day I still haven't watched Scarface like in its completion. That's probably something I'm gonna do at some point on the channel as well. I've never watched that movie from start to finish. That's another movie that I've seen like in passing, going on the channel, you know, seeing the scene of say hello to my little friend, but I don't know what. I know it's about drugs, and I know that it's set in Miami, but I have no clue what's the story. It's the story of Scarface, one of the most classic movies of all times. I've never seen it in completion. So watching Goodfellas for the first time, a movie that I've heard about for years, never seen it. I've heard about Goodfellas. Goodfellas always come up in conversations, but nobody ever really recommended the movie to me. I've never seen any scene from it or anything like that. Um, I've never, you know what I'm saying? Never knew anything about it until you guys kind of drop little hints here and there. You guys had let me know that the same actress that played Dr. Melfi in The Sopranos was in the movie. I actually remembered while watching the movie that you guys told me that. So that was pretty cool to see. So here we go. Let's start reviewing the movie, right? Goodfellas. What will be my score? This movie is not, let me say this, let me get this part out of the way before I talk about all the great things about the movie. I'm gonna say this movie, it's not as good as The Godfather or The Godfather 2. It's not as good as those. And if you're going to judge them based on mob movies that I've seen, this is definitely, it's up there, but it's not as good as The Godfather, right? And the reason why I say that is because not only the way how they told the story, even though I praised the movie for having that kind of slice of life feel to it, whereas in, you feel like, a camera just happens to be there while these people are going about their lives and doing all this criminal stuff. It's just one of those things, right? It's just one of those things where you feel like there were stuff in the movie that didn't really need to be there. Like a lot of the exposition that happened didn't really need to be there. I think this movie they could have told this story and I would have still gotten the premise of it. You know what I'm saying? If this movie was like maybe like an hour 45, you know what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of the movie, like about 30 minutes or so of the movie was not needed. There was a couple of things, especially in the beginning. Like I think that first hour of the movie, there was a lot of things that I think they could have probably cut, but they were telling a story and they did what they needed to do. So I'm not gonna knock the movie, knock it down a peg for that. That's just how I felt about it. So I just want to get that out of the way, right? And that's just me not nitpicking at anything. That's just what I've observed from me watching the first hour of the movie. Didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like we were following this kid that's growing up and stuff like that, but I think they could have skipped to him being a grown up at, you know what I'm saying, but they kind of took their time to kind of tell that story of him growing up, what it was like, him getting into the life, right? So that was cool. So I can't knock it completely and say, oh, this was completely unnecessary. That's not what I'm saying. I think that if they did take out some of that, you still would have left with a really good movie, a really good understanding of what happened with Henry Hill. Now, I've never heard of this character. Never heard of him in the history. I don't know if I'm saying. They said it's based on a true story, so I'm gonna go with that. It seems like there was a book written about it as well. And this seems to be a huge problem that the mob had, with just dudes just turning rats everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like it's like in the history books that they had this issue where it's just rats everywhere. So heard that he's still in witness protection, maybe even to this day. Maybe he's not dead. I don't know. But as I said, you guys who have been around here for a long time, you know that I use 3 things to review movies, right? And then we give it a score based on those 3 things: rewatchability, the story, how the story was told, and also the audio visual. All right, so we gotta take into consideration here, as I'm going to talk about audio video first, right? We gotta take into consideration here that this movie was made in basically at the end of the 80s. I'm pretty sure they were filming like, maybe, I don't know how long this movie took them to make, but maybe I want to say late 80s they started to make this movie. It came out in 1990, right? So I have to say this. The audio visual in this movie, I didn't quite understand why they always had music playing in the background. And the reason why I'm going to drop a half a point for audio visual is because of that, because the music wasn't needed. You get what I'm trying to say? That's one of the things that the reason why I include that in my review is because that stuff does matter to the experience of you sitting down to watch a movie or a TV show. It matters. If you are going to use music, make it matter. You can't just have music just playing in the background. It's not the actual music that playing in the venue that they are at. You just have people just having conversations and you just have this weird ass music playing in the back. I don't care if it's a nice song. You just have music playing in the background, and it's not music without lyrics. You hear the person singing in it. It kind of take you out of what you're watching and not be as immersed as you could be into the movie. And to me it was a little distracting for me, because that's one of the things that I listen for. Or you get what I'm trying to say? And I'm not saying this because it's gonna give me quite a lot of work to do to get this on YouTube, right? Not, what I'm saying? I'm not saying that because of that. I'm just saying, like, during the movie, watching the movie, in certain scenes, the music just didn't fit. You get what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I look for, because to me, score is extremely important. It's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like watching a Marvel movie. If you don't hear, you know what I'm saying, in a triumphant moment during that time, for those first 20 movies, if you don't hear that dun 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 dun, dun, I'm doing it fast, but you get my meaning. If you don't hear that during an Avengers movie, you feel like there's something missing, because it's just become so iconic. You know what I'm saying? It's just become so iconic to the actual space and the immersiveness of what you're watching. So I'm definitely taking off a half a point and giving it, you know what I'm saying, even though it kind of deserves, you know what I'm saying, because I'm gonna say this, because it's in one category, audio and visual, and the visuals are pretty good. Brings you back to the 90s of how things were, you know what I'm saying, the cars, everything was done really, really, really well there, you know what I'm saying. So they did what they had to do there. So the visual gets a 10 out of 10 for me. But the audio, drop it a point, so we end up in that category of, you know what I'm saying, audio visual gets a 9.5. And I should drop more, but I'm gonna have a little mercy here. I'm gonna have a little mercy because it was distracting at times for me. Maybe it wasn't the same for you. And I say this because I want to let you guys know my reviews are subjective. They are not objective reviews. They're subjective based on my experience with it. So it's more subjective than objective. Okay? So don't take it personal because I'm knocking a movie you love. Just understand that it's my personal opinion based on my experience. Okay? So let's talk about rewatchability. Rewatchability, is this a movie that I would watch again? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. This is probably my only time that I'm probably going to say. I'm going to say this. The reason why I would not watch this movie again is because not only is it based on a true story and I've already seen the story, I don't really want to know what happens with Henry Hill's life again. I'm not interested in that. And that's the thing about stuff that is based on a true story. Usually when you make a movie based on a true story, you usually don't really want to watch that movie again because now you know the story. You get what I'm saying? But I understand why you would want to see other people react to the movie. That's a little different. But would I take up this Blu-ray again and put it in the Blu-ray player and watch this movie again? Maybe with someone, but it's not like the rewatchability is not high. So I'm gonna put that at a 2 out of 10. The rewatchability for me, that on a scale. You know what I'm saying? It's a 2 out of 10 for me. And that's just because maybe I would want to watch, somebody else watch this movie and see what their reaction is to some of the stuff that's taking place. We'll get to it. So let's talk about the story. The story for this movie, the way how they told from, using the actor Ray Liotta, the story of Henry Hill, right? From start to the finish of the movie, it was well told. I stopped the movie to talk about how I felt watching the movie, what I feel about the continuity and what they were doing was done really well. We watched this kid, found an interest in the mob life, and the money, the power, the fame that came with it is what attracted him to it, which is something that would attract pretty much any man. You know what I'm saying? But who really wants to live like that? I'll talk about that at the end, right? So watching this kid and the way how they told the story of him going through this process of seeing it's like from little bitty boy, teenager, raised around the mob, they give him responsibility, he saw the power that they have, the attraction towards this kind of life is there, he described it as it's better than, living as the president of the United States, which I think is obviously bullshit, but it is what it is how he viewed it, right? I'm wondering if he's the one that actually, maybe Ghost wrote the book, the actual Henry Hill. You guys can tell me in the comment section. But the way how they told his story of him meeting Jimmy and Tommy and Paulie, and how they became this huge influence in his life, Tommy being a full-blooded Italian so he could be made, Paulie the overseer, he was the boss, of the family or whatever, this Paul Cicero, right? And and then Jimmy couldn't be because both of them had Irish blood, so they couldn't be made men, but they were working for the mob. They were in the mob, they just couldn't be made because they weren't full-blooded Italians, right? So you have those cases in which you've seen these things happen, right, throughout the story, and you're seeing the tide start to turn. You could see that the minute when was the first time you saw that he was second guessing stuff about what was happening? Was when Tommy just went off on the dude in the bar, and he was like, what the heck did that? You saw that look on his face, was like, what did I get myself into, man? Like, these guys are nuts. And then he started talking about how they just started killing people, and everybody was just getting whacked. You feel like somebody disrespect you, just whack them, no permission whatsoever, for nothing. I think when I hear like somebody like you know what I mean, because since I started watching The Sopranos and stuff, you know what I'm saying, like when you start doing stuff, listen, cookies are crazy, right, when it comes on to your internet, okay? You know what I'm saying, you start watching something or you start uploading something to the internet or something like that, all of a sudden you just see these things start popping up in what you're doing, and you're like, how do you even know that this is what I'm doing? Why are you suggesting this to me all of a sudden? I never watched anything outside of me just uploading the Sopranos videos, and all of a sudden I just started getting all these recommended stuff on YouTube. Like it was crazy, right? Because all I was doing was just uploading my reactions, but all of a sudden I just started getting all these mob related stuff in my feed on YouTube. It was crazy. So they know, they tracking it. You know what I'm saying? They tracking it. I'm pretty sure that that's not something that just happens to me, of course. But for the most part, it's gonna be interesting to go back and watch, because I know that what's his name, Michael Francis, I know that he's on YouTube. He used to be in the mob, you know what I'm saying? He's not in the life anymore or anything like that. Saved guy, you know what I'm saying? He, serves God now. He's a man of God and stuff like that. One of the reasons why I watch his channel, is just to hear his perspective from when he was in the life, but he also reviewed these movies as well, and gives his perspective. Were they true? You know what I'm saying? Like, did this actually happen? Because I'm pretty sure he knows, because he was a part of it. You know what I'm saying? May not be a part of this particular era of things. I'm pretty sure he lived through this era. I'm pretty sure he knows who Henry Hill is, because this is based on a true story, right? So he must have heard the stories at least, you know what I'm saying? Even if he wasn't around this particular crew, you know what I'm saying, he must have heard the stories, maybe from even the horse's mouth. Maybe Jimmy got out. I don't know. They didn't say Jimmy died. I mean, they said he got, he was up for parole in 2004. So I don't know how that went down. But it's going to be interesting to watch his review for this movie to hear what he has to say. I'm definitely going to be checking that out. So who wants to live like this? So before I jump into that, let me say this first. There were a lot of baddies in this movie. I like it. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me nice. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me nice. Show me some stuff I want to see. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see a young Dr. Melfi. You know what I'm saying? She looked even better. You know what I'm saying? I put on that swag. You know what I mean? But she was definitely looking good in this movie. All the actresses, well, not all, but you get what I'm saying, the ones that were on screen the most, you know what I'm saying, was looking pretty good, you know what I'm saying. So it's one of those things, man, that I want to talk about, is who wants to live like that? You know what I mean? Who wants to live like that? You're just continuously looking over your shoulder. See, when faced with death, you know what I mean? He knew they were gonna kill him, just to be safe. They were gonna kill him. Maybe it wasn't gonna be Paulie. You know what I'm saying? They took out Tommy because he killed a made man, and he thought they didn't find out. I don't know how they found out. I think that's probably a piece. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a piece of the movie that's probably missing, because it's like, who told them? How did they find out? Did they just deduce that it must have been Tommy that killed him because of what happened in the bar? You know what I'm saying? Like, did somebody that was there that night talk and said, oh, he had a dispute with Tommy, blah, blah, blah? I think that's part of the movie that's would have been nice if they told us how they found out that it was Tommy, you know what I'm saying? And why was Jimmy and Henry okay? Like, they didn't get whacked. They was a huge part of the, you know what I'm saying? I mean, not Henry, like, you know, cuz he didn't really help, but definitely Jimmy helped kill him. He was, you know, Henry was basically there. He didn't land a killing blow. I don't think he touched the dude, you know what I'm saying? Not even one time. So it was all, you know, Tommy and Jimmy that killed the dude, right? Amazing, amazing story told of this guy's life, of what he went through, and you know, the stuff with the kids, with the extra ladies on the side, with his wife, and then she ended up divorcing him too. So good on her. She should have been done that a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But hey, she stayed because what he was doing, or what he did, turned her on. She basically said that, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was, and that's the thing with a lot of women these days. And that's one of the things where we men now have to try to balance that, because we can't be too nice. You get what I'm saying? We can't be too nice, but we also can't be abusive. So we have to learn to balance that, because we got to learn to balance our masculinity. I'm not saying that you should learn to balance between your masculine and your femininity. Learn how to balance your masculinity. You can't be too aggressive, but you also can't be too, you know what I'm saying? You can't be too aggressive, but you also can't be too nice. You know what I'm saying? Don't be too nice. Your woman is not going to really respect you if you're too nice. Women respond a lot to, you know what I'm saying? They're more attracted to aggression, because to them, that's what masculinity is. They see your masculine nature through aggression. So that's not to say that you should be abusive. That is not what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Understand what I mean when I say that. Maybe we could have a talk about that so you can understand what I mean. Because I learned that later in my life, not earlier. Because I think one of the reasons, and I talked about it a little bit, you know, I mean during the movie as well, my marriage and stuff like that. I think that's one of the things that I never understood, because I thought it was, you know, you get married, you love each other, and that's it. There's so much more that goes into marriage, that it's you know what I'm saying, if you don't know what you're getting into, you're probably going to be like super stressed out, high blood pressure, all that fun stuff, right? All that fun stuff, which is what happened to me. I was literally walking around like a zombie in that relationship, didn't know really what to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so worried about doing the wrong thing. It was crazy. It was stressful. So you gotta be able to balance that out. You know what I'm saying? You can't be too aggressive, but you also can't be too nice. You get what I'm saying? And your woman, I think nowadays it's a little bit better, at least for me. I'm learning how to, you know what I'm saying, balance that, you know what I'm saying, in my relationship. So it's just one of those things that I think that, you know, men need to understand. So she should have left them a long time ago. That's just my opinion on it. You can hate it or love it. Should have left them. A lot of people would say she should stay, because you know you don't want to become a single mom or whatever. But you in a situation like that, like, you know, and he still was cheating. He still was cheating, whether it was with Janice or with the cult girl. Like, he was still cheating. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, is a woman supposed to stick around and stay in that? Because you literally have no respect. And you know, a lot of, you know, nowadays you have a lot of men that are saying, oh, men was created to spread their seed, so they should just go out and have sex with every girl. I think that is utter bullshit. Okay, that is utter bullshit, and an excuse to be an asshole. That's all that is. Okay, learn to control yourself and be a freaking man. I don't think being a man or being alpha is oh, I gotta have sex with the entire universe or as many women as possible. I think that is complete bullshit, and I think it's a cop out to have a responsibility to be faithful. I think it's a cop out. But, you know, people are gonna believe whatever they want to believe. I'm only one person. I know there's more men out there that are like me, that hear stuff like that and think it's complete and utter bullshit, but it is what it is at the end of the day. So, the story was incredible. They did a very good job. I'm not here to go over every event of the movie. We watched it together, and then you came here to hear what I have to say about the movie. So I'm talking about some specific stuff that I seen in the movie that, you know, just kind of riled me up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, you know, I don't understand, you know, choosing to live as a criminal more than likely always end up, you know, one way or the other in the position that Henry ended up in. You get what I'm saying? So when you choose that and then expect sympathy, no, I can't have no sympathy. And that's why I said when she chose to be with him, you chose to be with him, and then you had plenty of times where you could have walked away and you didn't, right? And you didn't. It's the same situation that I talked about in Godfather. I think it was Godfather 2. Was it Godfather 2 or was it 1? Godfather 2, I believe, where I talked about, you know what I'm saying, Michael Corleone, his wife, you know what I'm saying, and the stuff that she did. But I'm saying that you chose this, and now you know what I'm saying, you want to leave like you didn't know. This man has been telling you that that his family is horrible, that they're criminals, and now all of a sudden, when shit hit the fan, now you wanna dip. Now you wanna, you know what I'm saying. This and the thing about it is that Michael wasn't even cheating, dude. Like, dude, you know what I'm saying? You want to just up and just take this man's kid. You kill this man child. But we're not here to talk about Godfather 2, right? These men and what they have done in their life, absolutely horrible things that they've done. And you know, you're glad for the ones that are rehabilitated into society, you know, and given a second chance at, you know, just living out their life. I shake my head because, you know, there's so many people who look at this and they be like, they didn't have a choice. They all did. Okay, they all did. This is what they chose. Because, you know, as Henry described it as, oh, we out here are we the normies are out here living all regular and stuff, busting our ass in jobs or whatever the situation is to get to that level where we can have that kind of power where you walk into a room and people recognize you and do it the legitimate way. But they don't want to do that. They want it now. They want it now. You know what I'm saying? 21 years old, you're walking into rooms, people are recognizing you, praising you. You know what I'm saying? Give them a little tip in the pocket, whatever, and stuff like that. Like, most men wants to have that kind of feeling. You know what I'm saying? That celebrity kind of feeling. You know what I'm saying? For me, like, I would love for that to happen to me, of course, but I don't really have, you know, like in my early 20s, the desire was very high. But now that I'm in my 30s, desire has died out. I'm just like, whatever. I could care less if people recognize me at all. It's kind of like going somewhere and somebody, oh, your Terabyt reacts. Like, I've had that happen to me a couple of times. That hasn't happened a lot of times. But I've met people that actually watch my channel since I've been in Miami. You know what I'm saying? And it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has recognized me. They actually came to my house to fix something, and they recognized who I was, and it was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? That's not really a great thing, but you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You get what I'm saying? Like, they recognize, they're like, oh, your Terabyt reacts. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, know what I'm saying, it's kind of a terrible thing because you don't know these people, and then they find out where you live and stuff like that. It's a little scary. You get what I'm saying? Because you don't want that to really happen if you were like a public figure. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a public figure. Like I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Logan Paul. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like I barely have. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not that. You know what I mean? But then again, you still got to be cautious about these things. Like I'm not worried about people like breaking into my home or anything like that. You know, if they know that I'm Terabyt Reacts or whatever, and the stuff that I talk about on the channel, they might think I literally keep nothing. I don't keep anything in my house. So don't come rob me because you ain't got nothing to get. Unless you planning to take all this studio equipment, which is, you know what I'm saying, it is worth something, but you know, you know what I'm saying? Like the most expensive piece of equipment in here is the PC. You know what I mean? It's actually the most expensive piece of equipment in the entire house. Actually, is that PC? Because I don't really spend money on like, you know, frivolous things that much unless it's going to benefit me in some way, in, you know, for long-term purposes. But you know what I'm saying, you can't really, you know what I'm saying, you could try, but you know, all bars are on all my windows and doors. I live in Jamaica, man. Bars are on all my windows and doors. It's like getting into Fort Knox to get into my house. Heavy security, you know what I'm saying? Like alarm system, cameras, we out here. You know what I mean? But this has been an incredible watch, man. I'm gonna give this movie a total score of 9 out of 10. They did an incredible job here. Like, you know, barring the sound problem, barring the music and all of that stuff. Very great movie. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Goodfellas, you did your thing. Now I'm on to the next one. I think I'm gonna be doing Godfather 3 next before I go to something else, because I kind of want to get rid of the movies that are longer that you guys have suggested. I don't know how long like Casino is or any of those other mob movies that you guys have suggested, but I know that Godfather 3 is another long one, and these movies take a long time to edit, so I just wanted you guys to know that. So I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you leave a comment, and I will catch you guys for the next movie, man. Peace.